Meet the Candidates Forum. What follows is the first of three segments of the 2017 Hackensack Council Candidate Forum, hosted on April 30th at Mount Olive Church by the Bergen County NAACP and videotaped by Bergen Grassroots Incorporated, all in the interest of better informing Hackensack voter choice in the city's Tuesday, May 9, 2017 municipal election. In this May 9 Hackensack municipal election, there are 3 5-candidate slates, or 15 total candidates. Those 3 slates of 5 candidates will appear on the city's municipal ballot in 3 columns. Hackensack voters may vote for a total of 5 or any 5 candidates from among those 15 candidates. This forum was introduced by Bergen NAACP President Anthony Curitan. The forum was moderated by former Ridgewood Mayor Paul Aronson, and each segment began with 15-minute intros of Slate members, followed by audience questions written out and delivered by the moderator. On the ballot, the Hackensack United for Progress slate is in column 1, the LaBrosse team slate is in column 2, and the Hackensack Strong slate is in column 3. However, because the Hackensack Strong slate appeared first in the candidate forum, this first video forum segment records the Hackensack Strong slate presentation and discussion. You can view the names of the Hackensack Strong slate in this image.
Having run in 2001, having worked on different campaigns, formed different organizations for the betterment of our children, and here I'm looking to be reelected with my slate here. We have Rich Serbo, Angelica Carfy-Menendez, David Dungy, and Mr. Rafael A. Del Rosario. I've often found myself to be the lone voice on the council, trying to keep that moral meter in the positive direction. I've had to speak out on different issues, such as the botched promotion of one of our beloved officers here in Hackensack, about the possibility of privatization of the DPW, and lately about the flyers that, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with it, but the flyers that I feel have been used, that the current council have been using taxpayers' money to kickstart their campaign. A lot of times I feel I am left out of the decisions and the decision making on the council. And you know, when you talk about transparency, it starts in the council seats. And as a city councilwoman, you know, I'm just very disappointed in what's been happening. And that's why I find myself up here with these 4 upstanding individuals. And I'm going to start with Rich Serbo.
Thanks, Deb. I'm happy to be here. I want to thank the NAACP, Deacon Robinson, thank you. We are a fine team. I think we're the best team in the race. We're labeled as Hackensack Strong, and we are strong. My name, of course, like I said, is Rich Serbo. I'm a lifelong Hackensack resident. I went to all Hackensack public schools. I graduated college at William Patterson, and I went to grad school. And most of my occupations are varied. I have experience in the sales field. I am now teaching English as a second language. I've done lots of traveling, but I've come back here to Hackensack because it's in it's in our family also, like Deborah mentioned, service to the community and leadership. My dad was our mayor back in the 80s. My brother's a teacher here in town for 30, almost 40 years. And my mom was very much a part of the DPW for 30 years or so. And I worked with Mr. Delatorre and Mr. Montesano in recreation for years. I taught tennis for Mr. Fulton at the Saturday school, the middle school. And I organized quite a few litter cleanups in town with volunteers. I acted on my own because I thought the city needed a cleanup. So I organized on my own to fix that problem. And it's much better, but I think we still need work there. Now, we're ready to govern on day one. We are here as enthusiasts to improve this city. Hackensack suffers from, I think, a leadership problem. We need a better leadership in Hackensack. Lots of decisions are made in an arbitrary fashion with no input from the public at all. We want to have the city involved again. We want people involved with this decision making. There'll be nothing behind the scenes. Leaders work in the open. Okay, it's a boss that'll do things covertly. So we want to lead the city and do things with your input. We want to improve many things in the city. There's a redevelopment issue now that's it's just a proposal. It's not really redevelopment, and we have ideas for a comprehensive redevelopment program. We also want to have a rapprochement with the Board of Education. They don't speak to the city. I think there should be some communication there to improve things. There's other issues. I think there's too much political infighting in the city, and I think it's time to get past that and improve the city for everyone instead of just fighting politically. Politics is not about pulling the wool over people's eyes. Politics is about the betterment of the entire community. So we're running for political office, but we're not going to act like politicians in the past. We're not going to just do things in secret. We're going to do it out in the open. And I just hope you can support us. We're willing to discuss anything with you because you're going to be part of our governing team. It's been too long that people have been left out of the mix. And so it's time to have a new era in Hackensack and have open government and improve this city completely. So please work with us, and I'd like to ask you to consider voting for us. Thank you very much.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. I want to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to share our visions with you. My name is Angelica Carfy-Benesses. I am a fourth generation resident of Hackensack. I was born and raised here. I'm still living here. I'm actually raising a fifth generation. I have a 7-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, and they attend the Hackensack Public Schools. I am wife to Juan Meneses. He is the shop steward for the Union Sanitation Department. This is his 20th year there. I'm also a member of the Recreation Department. I got appointed last year. I applied and they appointed me. As a member of the Recreation Department, they have a redevelopment plan in place to put in the first ward, where I reside. And the current administration didn't ask the Recreation Board any opinions or advice on how to do it. They just decided that they were going to put together a plan, a vision, to put this ginormous building in a very congested area. And as being a member of the board, I think we should have been at least given an opportunity to voice our opinions. We are an advisory board, and this current administration doesn't take any of that into consideration. I'm very involved in my kids' school. I'm the vice president of the PTA. I'm also the secretary. I work with the Hackensack Junior Soccer Association as a secretary there. I am an entrepreneur. I own my own real estate company here in Hackensack. And I feel that all my leadership skills will help with your voice and our community to help us have a better community where our residents have a say. Right now, you all don't really have a say. The current administration runs with whatever they feel, and they do whatever they want. I'm running my Hackensack Strong because I have a lot of respect for Deborah and my candidates. She really helped to save my husband's job, and I can't thank her enough for voicing her opinion when everyone else just shut it down. They wanted to privatize, and she was the only one that stood up for us. Just vote Hackensack Strong. We're here for you, and we want to work with you, not work by ourselves. Vote number 3. Thank you.
Hello, my name is David Dungy. I'm a 37-year resident of Hackensack. My wife and I have 2 kids. Going to public school here and a Catholic school. There are 2 little track stars here that have starred many years on the Hackensack recreation team. And they play a lot of other sports, so a lot of the problems that Angelica has mentioned, everyone feels about the cost and things like that. I'm a software engineer for Honeywell out in Morris Plains, but my wife and I also own 2 businesses here. An investment firm that we invest in real estate property, and also a small robotics business that we just started. I have 2 degrees. I'm working on a 3rd one, but what my 3rd degree will be is a PhD in urban systems, which is about redeveloping cities like Hackensack here. What bothers me, and the reason why I'm running, is because I want to see a better redevelopment plan for this city. I'm raised in the 2nd generation here. I want to make sure that this city doesn't have its problems kicked down the street for 30 years for tax pilot programs and things like that for another generation to have to deal with. I have kids that, as I mentioned, that are in the school system here, the recreation system, and other things. We are involved in our community. We do things with our citizens. We want to make sure that there's something else down the road. So one of the things that we talk about a lot is the redevelopment plan. And I'd like to see more jobs come here to Hackensack versus just being a bedroom community. So how do we do that? How do we make this a destination place for people who want to come live and work? So we have ideas about this. We've done our research on that. But the key thing is our leadership and sense of ethics and governing well is what we're going to bring to the city, and also making decisions fast, research-backed, and sound decisions for the redevelopment plan. We want to bring jobs here, not just bring construction jobs, as the other tickets have talked about. We want to bring permanent jobs for Hackensack residents. We want to build a better school system here for the 4,000 to 6,000 future residents that are proposed to move into these buildings that are being built. Where are those kids going to go to school? They're not going to go to school in Manhattan or some other place. They're going to go to school right here. So we need a better school system that can support that. What makes the next generation of folks come in and move here, millennials and Generation Z eventually. We need to build destination experiences here that will bring people here. We need to have a revenue-generating recreation department, not just an indoor soccer field that does nothing but serve 50 or 60 people. We have ideas about how to do that, and we'll show you a presentation afterwards if we have time of some of the concepts that we've researched around the country that of other communities about the size of ours are in similar situations and have done things to make their downtowns what's called a walkable urban plaza, or walk-and-peak. We need a walkable city that would attract people, businesses, and that will bring in more revenue while we also work on the tax issues of lowering the taxes on residents. And that's those are the things I'm most concerned about. And I think we have the solution to that. Hopefully, go to Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to stay here, my second home. But the most important thing is that we want to be talking about the present and the future of Hackensack. My name is Rafael de Rosario. I was born in the Dominican Republic. It's a small island in the Caribbean. I've been here for over 19 years. And I really love this city. I love people of Hackensack. And I really care about this city. Because we have a great people. And we don't know it. We have. I had my education from Jersey City University and Bergen Community College. And the reason why I got running for city council is very simple. I am a very, very simple guy. It's because I see that the city goes in the wrong direction. We need better leadership in our city. We need people who really care about seniors. We need people who really care about taxes. We need people who really care about sanitation. We need people who really care about our kids. We have to raise our standard. We can do better. I really believe. And you have the power. Thank you.
Good. Well, let me thank our candidates, A, for giving us very thoughtful opening statements and also for staying within the 15 minutes. So appreciate that. I do have some questions I got from the audience. Again, if you have questions or if you need a card to write one, just raise your hand and we'll bring it to you. Before we go to the first question, I just wanted to acknowledge somebody who's with us today, Chuck Powers, who heads Bergen Grassroots. It's a TNEC-based, Bergen-based organization. And he's also videotaping this, which would be made available, I guess, to the public on your website, perhaps?
And on the NAACP one as well.
And the NAACP website. So thank you very much, Chuck, for being here and for doing that. So I'm going to go with the first question, and I'm going to just ask our candidates, feel free, if you all want to weigh in on it, feel free to. If you don't feel the need for every candidate to sort of say the same thing, unless you're going to add something different. First question is, are you concerned with the well-being of our seniors, particularly with respect to housing and activities?
Yes, we are very concerned about it. My grandparents are still here, they're in town, and the one thing is I just had to appeal my grandmother's taxes. She lost my grandfather 6 months ago, and her taxes are $12,000 for a 2-bedroom. She doesn't have a big house. So another reason why I wanted to run was to lower the taxes for not everyone, but the seniors, so they can live comfortably. We all know that nobody makes a lot of money on your fixed income when you're retired. And another thing is I want to include a lot of senior activities, maybe computer skills. I know my grandmother can't use a computer. She can barely use her cell phone. And along with physical activities, maybe some more gym classes or Zumba classes or nutrition classes. And those would be free services that we would like to incorporate. That's one of the reasons why I'm running is the recreation and the senior services to improve them.
So we haven't run for public office before, so we've been asking the citizens, hey, we're responsible to you guys. We want to hear ideas of what you guys have, what you guys want to see as part of the city. And one of the ideas we found out about was it'd be nice to have a trolley service here again that could take seniors around the city to drugstores and different parts of the town that doesn't cost them anything. They just show a card for the city that says they're a senior and a resident. But this is the kind of things that we want to hear about what do seniors actually need and how they want to get out and be involved. Like Angelica mentioned about classes at the rec center and other kind of things. But I think we can definitely do something.
Thank you very much. Next question. What will you do to help low-income individuals become homeowners?
So one of my concerns with my family is that after the Second World War, there was a whole push towards having everyone own a home. It isn't always the right thing for people to do, but it doesn't mean that you have to live in an apartment. If financially you can own a home, then we can try to help educate you on how you actually buy a home using whatever programs are available for your particular situation and the type of home that you want. You don't need a McMansion if you're only making $50,000 a year, but that doesn't mean you can't buy a condo or a small co-op. And so there are services like that we also want to provide. Educational services show people how to maximize their finances, how to invest their money, and to actually seek home ownership with whatever limited funds they might have. One way to do that also is by pooling money together to buy investment property together, and then you use that revenue to buy something else. But it's almost a case-by-case basis, but we can look at options to how to do that.
Sure. I think taxes are a problem. So taxes get their face in everything, really. So taxes are keeping people from purchasing homes. The taxes that they have to pay in addition to their mortgage are a little too high. Now, I know that everyone has promised cutting taxes, but we will do our best to, get a handle on taxes for people purchasing new homes, and homeowners have been left out of the mix. They're giving away too much to developers downtown. There's 30-year tax breaks. Let's negotiate with the people of Hackensack in mind. So that could have been negotiated a little lower tax abatements for developers, and maybe help homeowners again. Services for homeowners, abatements for homeowners, pilot programs for homeowners. They've been forgotten. Let's retain our homeowners and also help those that are interested in buying homes. Homeowners are ignored in favor of these few development projects. So few people are benefiting. So it's time to take a look at everybody and assist those all over the city. And let's find a balance so we can help homeowners.
And with homeownership, one of the frustrating things about the redevelopment is that we are always told that there is no room for affordable housing because of the housing authority, the family living, and the senior center living, that we have our quota. Well, in my opinion, we need more here in Hackensack.
Yes.
I don't see how, talking about purchasing homes, listen, I don't see why an agreement, when they're doing the developers agreements, a certain percentage of the units can be for affordable housing.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, we need more here in Hackensack. We need much more. And we're not talking about the folks who are on assistance. We're talking about us.
Yes.
Okay? If I were to sell my house and then try to get a house back here in Hackensack, I wouldn't be able to afford it. Okay? So that's a big frustration. And I would hope that between the city and the county and the state that, we would be able to partner together to get more affordable housing in Hackensack.
Great, thank you. Next question has to do with employment. What is your plan to promote employment opportunities for young folks, particularly in the context of the redevelopment of downtown?
So in our proposed redevelopment plan that we've come up with, some of the things are to create permanent jobs for Hackensack residents, particularly the youth. So one idea was creating a small indoor water park where our youth are employed year-round, not just during the summer or not just at McDonald's or something like that, but also a mentoring program to show them how to be an employee, how to be in service to others, and actually possibly how to start a business. My daughter has a small business. She's only 13 years old, and she's showing other kids how to start their own business. Those kind of youth-led initiatives are one thing that we can do to help create not just employees, but also business owners in this town. The other things that we talked about in the redevelopment plan, I don't really want to talk about the other tickets too much, but they're talking about 1,000 jobs being brought here. What percentage of those jobs are for Hackensack residents? You can negotiate in a development deal with developers to say, hey, look, 10% of the permanent jobs that you guys bring here need to be looked at first for Hackensack residents before you let people from other towns come in and take certain jobs. We also don't, like as I mentioned earlier, we don't need 1,000 construction jobs for youth that are trying to go into different fields like biomedical engineering or real estate or other fields. So a mentoring program, an opportunity to entice businesses to come here that employ youth, like a small water park or some other places like Dave & Buster's or something like that. And also, as I mentioned, programs to show them how to start a business.
I really love business. Almost 2 months ago, I was talking with my team that we need to create here in Hackensack a business incubator. It is a plan where if you have an idea about business, about anything, we can help you how you can start. We can educate you how you can start your own business, how you can create your own job. And this is kind of economy today. You have to know how to create your own job. Before, as soon as you finish college, you used to have a job. Now, not anymore. So that's one way how we can create opportunity for other people here in Hackensack.
Yeah, I just want to mention maybe light manufacturing should be brought in here. I've asked that in the public meeting, and I was just ignored. There's a lot of clean industry. There's clean manufacturing. There's lots of room along the river, and it would bring in lots of jobs for city residents. It would be a great thing. For instance, pharmaceuticals are more and more popular. They're working much better. Many people need medication, and that's clean industry. We could have a small pharmaceutical plant here that would really hand out some jobs. And this city needs jobs, and it's been ignored. And as for the percentage that David mentioned, I asked the mayor at one point, why can't we negotiate for the people of Hackensack for 50% of the jobs being for locals? And he looked at me and said, I don't have anything to do with that. Now, that's not leadership. We need better leadership. Okay, people want leadership to believe in them, not berate them and just tell them to sit down. So think about leadership. I think jobs can be brought here, and I hope so. Okay.
The next question has to do with Hackensack University Medical Center. The question is, what is your position with respect to the hospital, particularly with respect to their continued expansion into the city and the tax breaks they receive?
The hospital is the largest employer in Hackensack. They are a very good facility. There's a lot of different opinions regarding their status in Hackensack. And I'm going to let Rich speak on this.
No, Hackensack Medical Center is fantastic. It's a great place. But things would be much better if they would work with us and help the city much more. There was a recent Morristown ruling that a judge made that takes away basically their nonprofit status because they are no longer nonprofit, lots of these medical centers, especially Hackensack. It's a profitable business. And we love them. We want everything that they offer here. They have a wonderful cancer center and lots of other treatment centers. It's fantastic. But they they should, the ruling was about making them a for-profit institution, and they should increase their contribution to the city. Now, the mayor hasn't held them to that. I think negotiations again with them doesn't have to be with animosity. Just good negotiations with them would have them work with us and contribute more to us, because they need to know that the city needs to operate also. They're expanding everywhere. So I think the mayor maybe has a little conflict because of his employment there. He could recuse himself of that and let others negotiate with the hospital to donate more in taxes to our city to help us.
Another part we can do to try to negotiate with the hospital is, one thing that bothered me about the most recent development is right there on First Street, that parking garage that they built, it's about 100 feet of just brick wall. There could have been a store or two there, something to bring taxes back, or revenue back to the city. It didn't have to just be the barren wasteland. But we could talk with them about any of the new developments that are going on in the city to build like a first floor for parking garages and retail, and then have the medical offices above that versus it taking up ground floors where the medical offices start. There's no opportunity for retail or any other revenue generating things in the city.
My position about that is very simple. I believe and I think the hospital is doing a great thing. The problem is the administration. This is the problem. You, as a mayor, have to say, this is good for the city, this is good for the hospital, let's go to the business. Right now, for example, they talking about bringing some revenue to the city, but they are doing the opposite. They give it away more than $47 million just for the airspace. The city doesn't get any money for that. So that's one way how we can start bringing revenue to the city. We have to renegotiate all this stuff.
The current administration runs on honest government. I don't seem to understand how it's honest if he is an employee of the hospital, the mayor, and he's our mayor, and how he's putting preference into the hospital instead of taking our taxpayers into consideration. The hospital doesn't pay any taxes, and it takes up a major piece of our city, and he should have recused himself. That's not honest government.
Well, there are 20 Prospect pays taxes, and the garage, they pay taxes on the garage, on a railroad, and some taxes, on the garages. But the main edifice there where the beds are, they are tax exempt.
Great. And the next question, thank you for that. The next question, actually we've got two questions regarding government in Hackensack and the public service and the relationship between the two. First question, what will you do in office with the relationship between the city and residents to improve it? And second, and related to that, what new avenue would you propose to increase opportunities for public input into decision making and civic involvement in general?
Well, one thing we want to do is to begin having board meetings. A lot of people don't come out to the city council meetings for whatever reason. Maybe they can't make it there. So the council needs to come to the community. All right? We can come to the community, to churches like here, or the firehouse up there on Summit Avenue, and let the, some people feel more comfortable in their own neighborhood. They don't feel comfortable coming to the city council meeting, getting up on the mic. So to have little fireside chats like we're having now, we feel would be very beneficial. Anything else you want to add, guys?
In regards to community development, at Honeywell where I work, we do a thing called voice of customer interview. We don't build a single thing unless we talk to them. So one of the techniques that we do is called affinity mapping. You go out, you talk to people, you show a board of several pictures of proposed items, and you give people 3 stickers, and they put 3 sticker on the choices that they like the most. So you give them 10 choices, and you get community involvement in this case about what kind of things, either from what kind of zoning or what kind of recreation things you want here, or do you want a town pool or not? Do you want some other splash parks or something? Those are the kind of things, and that's how we can get people involved in these ward meetings that we were talking about. And I think we should do them frequently so that they don't get so pent up on like once a year. It's the only time we get to talk to the city council. We need to like once a quarter or once a month or something like that. Constant feedback through surveys, through a Hackensack City smartphone app that allows you to vote on ideas and how to give us feedback to the city. I think is something that we need to build here. Something that you don't have to come into City Hall to be able to express your opinions about.
And following up on that, one example is the expansion, the upcoming expansion of the M&M building down in the First Ward. The First Ward is very upset about this because, number one, the residents weren't informed about this expansion. And number two, the parking is atrocious down there. You have St. Francis Church, you have the rec, the current rec, and you have ECDC and the Cultural Arts Center. And when all of those collide, it's a mess down there. People are not happy because they weren't involved in the process. The reason given was that because it's a city project, you don't have to alert the neighbors. Like if I was building onto my house, I would have to alert the neighbors within 200 feet of my property. But because it's a city property, they don't have to alert the neighbors. That might be so, but I don't think that's right. And as a result, you have a neighborhood of angry people who do not want this facility enlarged there because they feel it would just be such a hardship on the community.
Just quick, I want to add that a couple of things. The animosity I mentioned before, the political animosity, the fighting, the personal destruction, the rough and tumble stuff drives people away. They're afraid. As I went around the city recently with petitions to get signatures to get on the ballot, or just even now campaigning, people are afraid in some way about things. Oh, we don't want to get involved. We're afraid. They've been intimidated somewhere and somehow, and that needs to stop. It does. It's been going on quite a while, and I don't like it. Also, there are too many arbitrary decisions being made. I've asked in many, many council meetings that let's have negotiations in public. Let's have open discussions about projects, everything. And the answer has been no, 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 no. And it goes back to what I said when we started here tonight. Leadership works in the open. A boss works in covert. So let's open up our government. Let's get more people involved. They certainly want to be involved, but they've been intimidated, and there's no open discussion of anything, contracts, everything, development. Should be open public discussions about it. There are none.
Great. If I could, we only have like about 6 minutes left, and we got a few questions here, and I was wondering if I could give them to you quickly, we get some quick answers, and then Councilwoman, maybe you just want to make like a 1 minute closing statement. So if I could just go through a few of these questions concerning the Board of Ed. The relationship between the City Council and the Board of Ed is very contentious. How do you plan to fix that? And related to that, I guess, if the Board of Ed and the City Council meet on the same day, as such residents do not have the opportunity to attend both meetings, what is your position on that situation?
It's essential that the Board of Ed and the city work together. It's essential. We cannot let personal agendas and let personal feelings come between us. The money is coming out of the same pot. And this is one of the issues with the redevelopment, the Dome, the M&M. We need a school here in Hackensack. Our schools are bursting at the seams. And with the future influx of residents that will be coming in on Main Street, you know there's going to be some kids in there. May not be a whole lot, but listen, 20, 30, 40 kids is going to make a difference, because now it's just, the schools are bursting. So it's essential that the board and the city move the pieces together and talk about shared services, you know, how, and just how we can work together to do what's best for the residents, that's fiscally sound, and, you know, not just everybody doing their own thing, you know, individually, and the taxpayers have to, you know, take the heat for it.
Yeah, I mentioned that before. The city and the Board of Ed need to have a rapprochement of some sort. That started in the early 90s, by the way. There was a split, and of course now there's elected board members. So it's like almost like two nations, if two political factions are sort of controlling each side, and it's absolutely ridiculous. This fighting I mentioned politically needs to end. Why can't you get along with a political opponent? The temperament that needs to change. If you can't get along, step aside. We need to get along with others. There's just too much fighting, and for the city and the board to agree on moving forward, I think is essential, like Deb said. Thanks.
Very quickly. The problem is, we don't have a leadership in Hackensack. In 8 years that Mr. LaBrosse has been as a city council, he only had 2 meetings. That's unbelievable. 43% of your money go to the public education. For me, it's very hard to believe why our mayor why he doesn't create a bridge of communication. For me, a good leader is the person who can bring all that together. I don't see this kind of stuff on him.
So 2 remaining questions. One of them you sort of addressed, Councilwoman, and that is with the growing development of the city with apartments, what is being done about the already crowded schools? I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that, or?
You need another school? You need to work together.
Well, we've done some research in other cities that are in the same kind of contract, Elizabeth and Baltimore, things like that. We need another school. We need a combined junior/senior high school. That's for 7th, 8th, all the way up to 12th. And the current middle school could be used as just for 5th and 6th graders. The crush of kids coming in here is just going to get worse. It's going to double within a number of years, and we just will not have space. We need new schools. And with the city budget, plus also the Board of Ed, there's enough money willpower there to be able to get something done if we work with them here.
And the last question. Okay. Last question, and then I'll just quick closing statement. Last question. 46% of our city is people of color. Will your administration follow through on an executive order to get jobs, permanent and during construction?
I don't know much about executive orders, but we do plan to exhaust every measure to get jobs here for the people of Hackensack, either through the redevelopment or through whatever opportunities come about. I don't think there's enough effort being put into our communities as far as helping our residents. I think it's all centered on the redevelopment right now, which is important. Redevelopment is good, but still we cannot neglect what's going on in our communities.
I definitely agree. There should be some set-asides for minority hiring, yes. So that was your question, correct? It was, the way I heard it. So yes, there should be minority hiring, yes, very much so. Thank you.
And just one thing on that, we do plan to get more minority representation within City Hall. It's always been one of my things that I wanted to do was to make City Hall look more like the community that it serves. Okay? That means helping minority vendors, including women, get contracts. Listen, it's toilet paper, it's paper towels, whatever, to get them in the mix. Show them how, how to apply for bids. Get them in the bidding process, because right now we are so out of the loop with any minorities coming in to help to bid on anything, projects, whatever. But it's essential that our services are reflective of the town that we live in.
Great. And with that, Councilwoman, would you like to just give a closing statement on behalf of the Slate?
So on behalf of Hackensack Strong, we thank you for listening to us. We hope that you will give us an opportunity to bridge the gap between the community and the government. We feel that there is just too much shoving down our throats of what the council wants, and we don't feel that that's right. We feel that there has to be a stronger connection between the community and the city council. We want to lead with integrity, with high standards. We want to stop all the nonsense that's going on, all of the lawsuits that's going on. We need to stop. It's got to stop somewhere. It's just continuing. We're paying for it. We're paying millions of dollars in lawsuits. It's got to stop. City council members have to stay in their lane, okay? They have to stay in their lane and let the people of our city do their jobs. And I hope that on May 9th, you will vote column 3 and give us an opportunity to serve the community and not our personal interests.
Thank you very much. Great, thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. As we know, it's critical time when it comes to the election process. We experienced something in November where the